Hello everybody, Travis here for Tpull's Corner. I'm not getting my green indicator light, but I think we are recording, so we will proceed as if we are. I only have a 1 mana play, so I might as well play that land. And the opponent is already ramping. We're going to see if we can get big enough with our Cryptomancers that it won't matter. 6 lands to 3 already. And they can already cast pretty much any spell in the entire deck. I think we go ahead and hold on to the witness protection. And we do still gonna need to put down some more land. We'll just hold where we are. We've got 1 backup if they destroy our legendary artifact. They don't want to deal with us. Oh, all you had to do was recast that, and you could have another 9/9 with twice as many food tokens. I'm not sure why I scared them so much, but let me show you the entire deck. I've been opening with, unless I play the pre-made decks, I've been opening with a battle each time, and then I go in and show you the deck. But I did have a comment recently that suggested they're used to seeing the deck tech ahead of time and then going into all the battles. So I'm open to feedback. If that's your preference, go ahead and leave a comment and let me know which way you prefer this to happen. This is the Counter-Hex deck. And it didn't playtest well because the meta is so fast right now, even when I'm not playing ranked. But I did want to try it. So the main star really actually is Saiba, a 0/1 Cryptomancer Moonfolk Ninja. It's got hexproof, and you can flash it in on the opponent's turn if you want. And it's got backup, so we can add a counter to another creature if it's in danger and give it hexproof for 1 turn. So we want to keep the creatures we have protected with it, and it'll still keep the hexproof. So we've got 19 creatures, which is a decent amount, and 25 lands. And I kept it down to 60 cards, even though I was tempted to go more than that. The other things that we have in here, we've got a Wash Away, because we're into we're into Wilds of Eldraine, which has adventure spells. So it's very possible they'll cast something, throw it into exile, and then try and cast it later. So we can just keep 1 land open and do a surprise counterspell against them. We've got Witness Protection, which is against things that I don't normally have a way to deal with, right? So if they have, like a Phyrexian Obliterator, I can just turn it into a 1/1 legitimate business person instead. We've got 2 Eaters of Virtue, legendary equipment, give them +2 to their power, and if we lose the creature, then it gets exiled under the sword. It's sort of attached to the sword, like it absorbs its soul or whatever. And then when we equip it to another creature, that creature has any of the mechanics that are listed. So if we lose a Cryptomancer, say we have to chump block it or something, it's going to give the hexproof to the next creature we equip it to. So that's another way that we can still keep our creatures protected. A couple of X spells, Green Sun's Twilight to reveal top cards of our library. And if we get 5 or more for X, we can actually put them out to the battlefield. So we're looking for a creature and a land, ideally. And then Luxurious Libation, just do a +X/+X as a combat tactic. It also creates a creature token, which is kind of fun sometimes. 1 other counterspell, Negate. The Cryptomancers, for them, 2 of the Ozoliths. You saw we started with both of them in our hand. This will pump up the Cryptomancers, so we've got a hexproof creature that just keeps getting more and more powerful. It's very hard to make a counter deck without using at least 1 Korean Beast Caller if you're in green. Whenever you cast any creature spell, it gets a counter. When it dies, all the counters on it go somewhere else to another creature. So I could have put more in, but I am trying to be minimal in the standard counters here. I'm trying an experiment, and I just wanted to see how well this other stuff would do together without relying on Beast Collar as too much of a crunch, because I thought it might be too easy with 4 copies of the Beast Collar. I've got 1 copy of Welcome to Sweet Tooth, creates a human token, then Chapter 2 creates a food token, and then we get an X+1+1 based on the number of foods we control. We don't have a lot of foods, so this isn't a massive amount. We didn't build the deck around it. 1 draw card with Silver Scrutiny, 2 ramp cards with Invasion of Ikoria. Well, ramp in the sense that you're searching for creatures, not lands. So it's an X spell. You get to look through your library and or your graveyard for a non-human creature with mana value X or less and put it straight onto the battlefield. Also to help us with ramp for creatures, Gwenna, that gives us 2 mana in any combination to bring down a creature. Kami of Whispered Hopes is sort of like a walking Ozolith, right? If 1 or more +1 counters are put on a permanent, you get an extra 1 on it instead. If you manage to put if you manage to put 5 on, you're going to get that many +1. So you're just going to add 1. So it's if you put 5 counters on, you're going to end up with 6 counters. It's not like it's going to double. But if you can pump up Kami itself, then the second active power there gets a little more interesting. You can add X mana of any 1 color where X is her power. So we might, if we manage to get things in the right order, we'll pump her up with counters, and then we can really use her to double our effectiveness on these 3/4 X spells that we have. We have Kadama of the West Tree, 3/3 with reach. Modified creatures you control have trample, and just pretty much every creature we have is going to end up modified. So they're all going to get trample if Kadama gets to stay on the field, and that's what, if we've got the hexproof abilities, then maybe good odds of Kadama hanging around. Whenever modified creature control hits the player, we get to search for a basic land card, so that's a nice way to stay in land. Augur of Autumn also, look at the top card of our library, we can play lands off the top, and if we get at least 3 creatures with different powers, we can also cast creature spells from the top that we can see. 1 Tribute to the World Tree, whenever a creature enters the battlefield, draw a card if the power is 3 or greater. Mostly we're going to be putting 2 counters on it, and hopefully we've got an Ozolith out or a Kami out to help us with the counters, the counter multiplication. We got Troy and Gutsy Explorer, 2 copies. This is one of the newer Eldraine cards. We can either draw a card and discard a card, or we can spend 2, or add 2 rather. We can spend it only to cast spells with mana value 5 or greater, or spells with X in their cost. So it'll work on all 4 of the X spells we have, and it'll work on this upper tier that we have. We've got 2 copies of Inga and Eska as well, so that all the creatures have vigilance and have the ability to cast creature spells with their mana. So this is kind of cool. And if we use 3 or more mana from creatures, we get to draw a card. This is really nice to combine with Gwenna, by the way, because Gwenna alone gives us 2. So say we use Gwenna and a second creature rather, and it could be Inga maybe. So maybe we just have Gwenna and Inga. We can tap those 2 creatures and we'll get to draw a card because we spent 3 mana from those creatures to cast the spell. So that's probably going to be, at the very least, 4 or 5. We could probably cast a 7 creature spell with just those 2 and draw a card out of it. Tamio is our completed Planeswalker. This is sort of a way to just tap down an artifact or creature, keep us out of trouble for a while. But the middle power is very interesting. We can exile the target non-land permanent with mana value X from your graveyard and create a token. That could come in handy. The higher tier, we've got Averbrook Caretaker. This is like the perfect idea for the deck, right? Because she's got counters and hexproof, which is what the deck is all about. When it turns to night, everybody gets hexproof, and everybody gets +2 counters. So this can end the game quickly. We've got another completed Planeswalker here, Nissa, and I'm mostly keeping her for a middle ability to destroy target artifacts or enchantment because it's such a cheap ability to repeatably get rid of artifacts and enchantments. So very big dangerous power there. Colossal Sky Turtle, flying with Ward 2, and then a couple of different channel abilities that keeps us flexible. I've got 4 copies of that, and then 1 copy of Copper Host Crusher that's got trample and hexproof. So I was starting with the Cryptomancer for hexproof, but I did a search on hexproof. Of course, fell in love with the idea of using Caretaker, and saw a Copper Host Crusher, and I couldn't leave the bomb out. He's kind of big and powerful. And that's pretty much it. Let's do some more battles and see if we can have a full-length match and not have them just run hide. I was playing another deck earlier and I won 4 in a row, and every other one they were just quitting before they would even draw a card. And they didn't mulligan, so it's not like they just got land starved at the beginning and got scared. I'm starting to think they saw my name and ran hiding. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm very feared on Arena now. That's not the best start. We got 3 X spells up front. I'm gonna run with it. I mean, we only have 4 X spells. Oh, never mind. We're gonna lose anyway. This is a 250 card deck. They're gonna get the perfect mana curve. These big decks always manage to magically do that. They'll have a perfect 1, 2, 3 curve. They'll get everything that they want, everything they could have dreamed of. They're going to leave us in the dust. See, look at that. They got access to 3 different colors already before we can do anything. And they gave us another copy of our X spell. Ooh, Arena really wants me to lose, don't they? These are useless to me right now. What am I going to do? Search for a 0-cost creature? Come on. I'm going to beef up one of their creatures. That's all I'm going to be able to do. Alright, third turn. They're running 3 colors. They have access to all 3. We're going to have to blow a Field of Ruin here, I guess, now. Just to get access to the blue we need. So if I blow up their Tangled Islet, that's going to force them to go commit to a forest, right? If they want to maintain their 3 colors right off the bat. We can kind of tell if they're having trouble with green in their hand, or if they choose a different color, it means that their primarily dominant hand is in the other 2 colors. So when you're in this choice and you have a decision to make on which of the lands to destroy, you go with the one that takes out something that's the only source of what they have. Just for the benefit of newer players that may be watching. And you make them commit. And if they've got 3 colors in their hand, they're going to want that forest for sure. Or even if they don't yet, they may be paranoid and they really think it's important with the 250 card deck that they have access to all 3 colors. But if they choose not to get a forest, that's going to tell us something. They might have a search spell or something. They were debating on if they should tap their mana and use something. We need our 2nd color. And of course there was going to be a land under that. So I probably destroyed my land distribution with shuffling my deck, of course. Okay, they went for their 3 colors. And they have blue, so we have to give them time to think. We just got to figure if they're leaving mana up for a counterspell, if we really want to run out one of these. But we probably won't have much of a choice. We don't want to just sit here and not cast anything. Alright. Let's do the Field of Ruin. Let's go ahead and get a 4/4 out. Our issue with this is this makes it really easy for them to play enchantments that exile our creatures. So no matter what we put out, we really need to scale up getting a bunch of our other creatures fast just to keep up with the pace of removal these decks tend to have. Instead, they're beefing up one and tapping the other. And which one do we destroy out of these two? Technically, I guess the longer lasting, more important one might be Wedding Announcement that we get rid of. But just the act of removing it gives them another turn to hit us for another 6-point imbalance, which is enough to decide the game as well. So I don't think we let them get more creatures out, though, that way automatically. There's just a lot of value in Wedding Announcement. They're going to get another basic land. I wonder if they've looked at our Field of Ruin and are planning ahead. Because the only way you can pull that trick again is if we take out their blue source. So if they were smart, they'd go get another island right now. Do you not have basic lands? Hang on. You didn't go get... Oh, hang on. Let me go get... Let me go get a second island for me. They can search their library for land with a basic land type. That's how Besiege works. They don't have any other basic lands in their entire deck? No way. We might have a chance. Because we basically just destroyed 2 lands unanswered. That's weird, because they have Broker's Hideout. They went and got basic... You only have 1 basic plains and 1 basic forest in your entire deck, and you're willing to put a Broker's Hideout in? And the chance that you might get both of those out before you draw your Broker's Hideout? Wait, here's another one. Okay, so you gain a life. You have multiple Broker's Hideouts and you only have 2 basic lands in your entire deck. How is that possible? They're kind of too far ahead now. It's 30-13 and they got 3 creatures out. And they're all pumped up. No, you got an island. Why did they not pull out a basic land for the others? What is going on? I do not understand. Okay, we're just going to hold on to Luxurious Libation here. Okay, that'll give us the extra mana we need. We've got the battle trick as long as they don't have a removal spell on Kadama. If they do, we're basically dead either way, so... I mean, I can still use Luxurious Libation and create a 1/1 chump blocker. But I'm not sure that I would bother at this point when they've already got 8 damage on the field, and me with no way to do anything about it. We're basically looking to surprise them at this point. Why did you not get out the other basic lands earlier? That makes no sense to me. Yeah, they're gonna... Okay, well... I mean, I guess we just... We'll try it. We'll create a blocker for a turn. Can I do 3, 4, 5? I can do 5 or more. And notice, this is kind of common. They do have a 4-cost spell here. And I think no matter what I do next turn, it's too far gone. I can't block enough. Kadama's not going to get untapped soon enough. This is really my only play. And just being able... Oh, hello. I do like her. And we can't get a land. Battlefield! And it doesn't matter, we're still dead. They're taking a really long time, but they can just bum rush us with all 3. And we've only got 1 untapped blocker. So just using the sorcery twice to tap us down, they got in enough hits. Don't know there was any way out of that. We couldn't really handle all those X spells up front. I mean, I got 3 X spells. The idea that I would draw a 4th one when there's only like 5 copies in the entire deck kind of defies beggar's description. But I've had some disgusting battles today where I've literally started with 2 lands and gotten no lands for 5 turns in a row. And I had ways to actually draw through the deck faster and everything, and it didn't matter. They just weren't giving me any land. In a 60-card deck that has at least 24 lands in it, that gets kind of disgusting to deal with every single day. Wizards has this idea every now and then that they're going to enforce the 50% win ratio. And that means you're going to get land starved every now and then. But they should just like give us a button and say, hey, you won too many times, here's an auto loss or something. Or make a bot that can go up against the newbies and let the bot do the auto sacrificing. It is not good for us to be suffering that way. Yeah, let me get a blue source in now. They're working on their card draw. What do we want to do? How about we just bring this puppy down now?
Kashk, Imasak, fight beside us.
That's the magic that is Troyan. And they have to go digging. Okay, let's see. They can destroy target artifact or enchantment. They can get +2/+2, or they can get vigilance. So let's do this. You're a 1/1 now. Congratulations.
I never fight alone.
Let's just keep it open for a negate. I can't do negate on that one. Okay. Yeah, you can come down, I guess. Oh, that one I can. This is an oil counter deck. You have to have untapped in order to sacrifice that, right? No. Got. Oh, you just did that with it. Okay. Alright. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna get rid of your source of card draw.
Enough resistance!
If you don't mind. Put down Ozolith. And I think we can start beefing up some things. And now we can just attack with our 4/4. See if they want to double block. No, they do not. Nice. World Tree goes away. Copper Cliff's pressure comes down. We've got 3 blockers versus your 3 attackers. And this can survive burn down the house, which is the biggest thing we're worried about from red. We're not really worried about a big X spell from them in this kind of deck. I'm worried about them going wide. This is kind of cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is enough. I don't need to go more than that. I'll show you why in a second. It's going to be great. Oh, they've got swamps too, so they have removal, right? They have 3 colors. Yeah, because Charforger needs black. Oh, they're not going to hang around. We were going to go get Averbrook Caretaker. Another hexproof creature that gives us counters, so... It's very interesting how just the prospect of what they might be facing is making everybody run away and quit early. It's like, I barely even touched you yet. It's kind of sad because this is the reason that I did the deck this way is there's actually a lot of counter decks that work a lot faster than this. You put in the Quarian Beast Scholars, you do Green-White Selesnya, you know, put the Ozolith in there. You've got just so many ways to get so many counters so quickly and overwhelm your opponent. I've had that done to me. I've done it. No, we'll probably do it again at some point. But I just wanted to do something slower and steady to make for a longer battle. And just have a little bit more fun that way. And instead, the battles are almost shorter because the opponent sees what I've got and they're just gone. If they have removal from black right now, that may have been a mistake to put that out so early. Okay, now we can afford to have some fun. We won't put out tribute to the World Tree yet. We're just going to save the Beast Collar by keeping the Cryptomancer in reserve. If it won't stop a Sheoldred's Edict, but most other things it should. They're just putting out creatures. Okay, that's fine. Here's a 1/1. Have fun with that. They don't want to chump block with it, which I consider a little strange. What would they be keeping that for? They just put down a 3/3. Okay. Okay, can we... Yes, we can put down Tribute to a World Tree now. And we'll pass the turn. Come on. There we go. Flash this in just by casting the creature spell. It already gets a counter. Creature gains Death Touch. That's not going to help it. I don't think they looked and saw what I'm casting. Unless you have yet another. They just burned 3 spells to take care of that. Okay. So maybe they did, but I'm going to get some counters myself. And you only get the Death Touch for until end of turn. So you get 1 free hit and enjoy your free hit. But none of this will work on me, really, again, I don't think. Do we want to do that now? 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Let's just pass. If they want to try this trick again with the Blade Brand, we can be ready. Unless he can't be blocked by artifact creatures. They're close to getting 7 to just pump it up. So let me go ahead and we will counter that. I know it's only a 2-drop, but for just 1 more land, they can make that a 4/4 and then a 6/6. And now I've got to worry about Blade Brand, actually. Because they might have 3 more copies. It only costs 2. So if they're going to attack into a 3/4, it probably means they've got something. They're not willing to bluff. Ooh, that's lovely. Tribute to World Tree and an Ozolith. I am sitting pretty now. Pump. And this is kind of the dream. I just need to get some more creatures out, but I've got something they can't remove, and it can get ever bigger. And if they have a battle tactic, I can channel this and return whoever's got the Death Touch into their hand. And now 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, shoot. No, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to go get Caretaker. And they'd have to draw 2. Now this they might be willing to start sacrificing their 1-drops for. Hello. Yeah. Death Touch and Indestructible. Return creature to the owner's hand. So they have like 8 of these in their deck? Am I going to have to play around that the entire time? Tamiyo is the worst thing to get right now. And I'm not getting my 1 land more that I need. They can just start bum rushing me. I'm going to have to use Invasion of Ikoria. No. Yeah, I won't take many more of those. There's a 3/3, and that can stop a couple things. Yeah, let's just bring this down now. We get a card draw out of it, and we can boost you up. And this works for 3, which is not the greatest. But you know what? We can stop 2 of those 5 attackers. I don't think they're willing to hit us now. Not withdrawing a land. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. This allows me to get rid of the incubated ones. So even though it's a land, I want to use it in a different way while I can. This works out nice. I'm gonna keep the counter there. It automatically becomes a 5/6 thanks to the combination of Tribute to World Tree and Ozolith in conjunction with each other. I'm just gonna pass because we can bounce one of these if they decide that they have enough power on the board, and they don't. They just got another land. That is not going to help them at all. Yes, keep making the things I can bounce. Do your math. Yeah, you still can't attack. Oh, look what I've got. I've got another 5/6. And I get to draw a card. Right? No, oh no, it added counter, sorry. Yeah, we're just gonna pass. We want them to commit, actually. We want them to get down a good creature for a change. That they think it's worth running into us. Do you just chump block that? Just chump sacrifice it? Don't even wait to build anything up. Just go get another 3/3. They're gonna need more than that. Okay, let's... Five... Everything has trample already. What am I doing? Boom. Boom goes dynamite. You can go get another land real quick. Then this goes away. And then 5, 10, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm just going to swing in with you. Oh, they take it. Oh, it's gotta hurt. I finally get my extra land. I finally get the land I've been waiting for this whole time. Thank you, Kodama. It took me a second to realize I actually got my Kodama on the field. And this is a last desperate gasp. Good game, good game. Yeah, they knew the gig was up. And so, of course, like cowards, they hit me in the face and then immediately run. They wait until the damage is done. They want to pretend that it was closer than it was. They want to say, see how lucky you got? You nearly died. I nearly had you. They don't understand my deck was working exactly the way it was supposed to. Another oversized deck. Why is everybody playing with all these extra cards these days? Is Mill made a big return that I don't know about? Because the weird janky decks that I'm making do not do well against... I mean, it doesn't do well for the arena to pit Mill decks against me? Am I just not in the right queue to see them? Are you all coming across Mill a lot these days? Except for the occasional Jace deck. It's kind of rare right now to me. But I know I don't come up against a whole lot of poison right now, but when I made my last poison deck, I played that for a couple days straight, and oh, I started facing nothing but poison. So I know there's entire channels of opponent you can sort of lock into, and otherwise the arena won't show them to you just because I guess it's programmed to say that it's not going to be a good matchup. I think Mill might be okay to go against me. I might do well here. I need all my cards. I like to hoard my cards. You know, I'm keeping everything in my hand for a very strategic purpose. Long-term game. Mill and discard do wonders against me, I would think. this is going to be a very short video if this is all that's going to happen tonight. At least the other opponent hung in there for a while. They didn't just run screaming for the hills. Okay, I'm not sure if our opponent's here or not. Sometimes, if you're a married man like me, a lot of times you can sit down and you think you've got free time to play, and then somebody needs something right away, and you really have no choice but to get up and go take care of it. So you never know what's going on the other end. Or maybe they had some bad curry or something and they had to go to the restroom and they're not on their phone playing the game, they're on a computer. So we are left to sit here and wonder, to invent excuses for the opponent, to cast aspersions about them having diarrhea, as for why they're roping us right now. Y'all can skip ahead if you want. I gotta sit here. I had a guest editor that helps me out for one particular video. I did my last hit at Sugo and Carry deck. Had some really great gameplay. I say great because I was messing up all over the place. I had misplay after misplay, and I still managed to win each match. It was disgusting. So I was like, I didn't want to lose that. My video kept, for some reason, quitting without letting me know that it had quit. And so I went, we'll do one more match. And so I had my nephew came to town, and he's like, "Oh, let me fix that for you." So he spliced together them for me. So I got to salvage the gameplay and put it up, but he's gone now. And everything changed too. Like he tried to do some editing, and at first the video was like corrupted and stuff, and it didn't work right. And I'm like, "Oh, we got to redo this." I blame Microsoft. Windows makes it harder than ever to do stuff. This I probably should have mulliganed. These are not the best colors to start with. I really like to save Otawara in this particular deck for something else. You saw how useful it came in just a second ago. Oh, we might have just won too many in a row. This is gonna, yeah, because they just give me an X spell. I can flash that in as a blocker, maybe? I'll just flash it in now and put Eater of Virtue on it. Swing in, get my hit. And you're just going to be a 1-1. You're not going to get any way to increase your counters. I'm sorry, you're not a dwarf anymore. You're not a wizard anymore. You are a legitimate business person. And those guys are puny little nerds. They're 1-1s. They can't hope to ever be anything other than 1-1s. Business person. Y'all are toast. I need some green to do anything. And we didn't get our land. So, yeah, give me a duplicate copy of the legendary artifact, why don't you? This is just disgusting. Arena, I already had my matches tonight where you only gave me 2 lands and that was it. You can't target my hexproof creature. Just hit me in the face. That's your only damage place. Come on. Figure it out. See how many rounds it's going to take before I get a forest. Yeah, no. Give me the most expensive card in the deck instead, Arena. To really reinforce it that I should not win this match. I usually scoop at this point if I'm not recording, but I want y'all to see what Arena does to me from time to time. When I win just too many in a row, they can do 1 damage to me every turn without touching me. because this was not enough. Yeah, do the math. You don't want to send the cheap guys up against me. Do you have a way to do anything with a island? Let me try it. I'm gonna block you. Block you! Do they just have an unsum? Oh, they do have a shore up. Okay. Here, go back to your hand then. I'm gonna keep mine. Hope that was fun for you. Do I bother with the Cryptomancer? Maybe? Could flash it in and give the counter to the existing one. Make it a 4-3 all of a sudden. This shore up makes things kind of tricky for me because Arena's not going to give me another land. And so if they come running at me again and they have that shore up, I'm in trouble. They do the 1 damage every turn, and all they have to do is sit there and ping me for a turnage each and every turn while I'm not getting land, and I'm dead. Eventually they'll be able to bum rush me by sheer weight of numbers. And he kept that. Do you have another shore up? Twinferno. He should. No, let's see. So, all right. Go back up into. That's going to be another 2 points of damage to my face from the sniper. When he resummons the sniper. So, I'm still losing. Well, la-di-da. How many turns did that take? Gain control of target creature. That does you no good against me. You're why would you cast that spell now? They can make me lose 3 life, I guess. Yes, you gain control of your own creature. Congratulations. Yeah, tap that. Okay. I guess we're just going to bring this in so that we've got a second creature out. There we go. I can't cast anything else. I mean, what am I going to do? I can run you in. See if they want to chump block. They do not. And now I've got my surprise tactic with Luxurious Libation we can use on the other one. So I can make it a 4-5. That should be enough to handle anything they throw at me. Even if they pump this up to... Well, if they pump that up with a Twinferno, that's going to become a 3-2, right? I'd have to be willing to trade that off. Another 2 to the face, and Catapult really puts a clock on things. And if they didn't have the if they had anything except the Catapult, I would have a lot more time to gain parity. But I don't have the time now. Yeah, and I'm still kind of defensive. They're just taking the 3. They're afraid that I have something. But this gives me +4 now, so as long as they don't have another Twinferno handy, I'm good. I've also got to worry about more direct damage to the face to make things end quickly for me. Yeah, speak of the devil. I'm doing this live, by the way. I didn't record this and then add on my commentary afterwards. And I don't have hexproof for me. My face does not have hexproof. So, they got a lot of cards, but yeah, more direct damage and I'm dead. Oh, they were saving up. Isn't it interesting? I got 0 land for a while and was doing pretty good. Still holding my own against everything, and then look what they managed to do. These weren't even in their deck. There's a team of Wizards employees who spy on my gameplay. They get alerted when I get too high in the wins, and they take over the decks for my enemies. And my opponents get the stuff in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't know why you just hit me. Yeah, isn't it funny that as soon as I got enough to stop their offensive line, all they did is switch tactics. Oh, suddenly I have all the instants I need to just deal you damage, and we didn't even need to attack you with any creatures. We're just going to leave it there. We won enough tonight. Let me go ahead and show you the deck one more time. I think I demonstrated enough of the concept of it. Let me know if you like it. When Arena's willing to deal us lands, we have a fair chance. I like the versatility of the Colossus Sky Turtles. You saw how they helped us delay things a long time just to try and help us get to a decent number of lands. I kept to only 1 Tribute of the World Tree because you see it takes 3 green, and when Arena is being a pest to me like it was in that last round, it's not going to give me 3 green in time to put it out. But it will throw it into my hand as a useless card sometimes, just to laugh at me and say, hey, here's a card that's fairly cheap, and you're not going to be able to cast it for the entire match. So it does that to me. We didn't get to really use Inca and Isika yet. That was kind of the bummer. But most of the other cards kind of made an appearance. I've got a lot of, instead of doing a bunch of 4-drops, I've got a bunch of 1-offs that they really do work well together as long as I get enough land and as long as Wizards isn't arbitrarily helping my opponent. That's my conspiracy theory. I stick to it, people. If you're new, like and subscribe. If you're old, go ahead and like anyway. And we'll have something new for you next time. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a good one.